we know that storytelling is how we push culture.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been many people on the right who denigrate storytelling.
I know.
G Prime 85 is a great comic book artist. He makes comics, and he's not a staunchly conservative guy, but he gets attacked by conservatives for drawing pictures. And he tries to explain that if you do not embrace the arts and storytelling, the left takes over. I'm wondering if that anti-storytelling, anti-art, anti-entertainment element of the right is actually influenced by demons as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, anything that has to do with culture, it's the same thing. I've mentioned this, I've talked about how communism, and the first thing we want to do is destroy anything that gives the culture a national identity or a sense of direction and purpose. That's one of the first things that they're actually going to want to try to destroy. And in relationship to honor, it's on both sides of the equation. People don't want to act honorably because honor is recognition or praise for excellence. What's excellence? Virtue. Okay.
Yeah.
And people don't want to be honorable themselves. On the other hand, on the other side of the virtue, on the other side of it, honor is recognition and praise. Well, that means that there's other people that recognize it. They want to be recognized, but without the excellence.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is what you see. This is why there's so many different people doing podcasts who have no capacities. They shouldn't even be there.
That's true. They need a background check before they give you a microphone.
Exactly.
I was talking to my wife a few months ago. We got married earlier in the year, and I don't remember exactly what brought up the conversation. It was about the importance of marriage for the sake of our daughter, the lessons that she needs to learn. And then I said, death before dishonor.
Yeah.
And my wife very, very, very much loved that. I said, divorce is not acceptable.
Right.
It is dishonorable. And, I think what it was is that we did a show, and I said something to the effect of, I did not get married for myself, for what I want. It is for the greater good. It is for my duty, my obligations, for what my family needs. And my wife was a little upset by that because she thought that it meant that I personally didn't want to get married. She thought that it meant that I was just doing it because it's something you have to do. And I said, no, absolutely not. That is a negative interpretation. Don't take it that way.
Except in this case. No, sorry.
No, I what I want is to be honorable. I very much absolutely wanted to marry my wife,
Right.
have a child, and live in honor and loyalty. And this is all a big component. My point was, it's not about me. It's about doing right by those around me to make the world better. And there are many guys in these dating communities, the red pill and all these things, and we're actually going to be debating this tomorrow on stage. And this is one of the things I'm going to bring up because no one's going to agree with me. You've got liberal feminists and you've got bro red pill dating guys. But my point is, they'll tell you women will take from you, they'll divorce you, they'll leave you with nothing, and I'm going to get a lot of flack from guys like this, and probably from some of these female influencers. But I would rather die in honor, having lost everything, than live in dishonor.
That's right.
So this means evil people will try to ruin me, take from me, or those around me. I will not let them do it, but I will always do my best to maintain honor, even if it means I will be afflicted in some way.
Yeah, well, that's right. There's a good priest back in the city I used to live in, Father Kevin, and we were kind of having a conversation about this and some of the ways people get taken advantage of in these situations. And he said, yeah, no, when you're a good person, people will take advantage of you. What are you going to do about that? Not be a good person? Is that
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
In Montana, there used to be a law, I don't know if it's still on the books, but it said that that there are certain words that will bring even a reasonable man to blows, right?
Yeah.
And the idea behind that was, look, you say something dishonorable about the wife. He has a right to extract justice.
Agreed.
In that particular case, to protect her honor in relationship to that, and that's all gone.
That actually, so this is probably an inane story, but I was at a restaurant nearby, and my wife having a child, she has certain dietary restrictions because of breastfeeding, what the baby can or can't have. This is a very real consideration for moms, and so we had both made requests of certain dietary issues, and my wife had asked, "Hey, I can't have this. Can you check this?" Well, he called us weirdos on the ticket, and it was a joke, I guess, and it wasn't supposed to be there, they said. But I get the receipt, and it says for weirdo, and I'm here with my wife and my daughter.
Yeah.
And I called the manager over, and I said, how much should a weirdo tip?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm sorry. And I said, here's the receipt. And he looked at it. He's like, I'm not sure. And then my wife was like, look down. And he saw it. And he was like, oh, I'm very sorry. I got pissed. I tweeted about it. And I said, this restaurant did this thing. And there are a lot of people that were like, that was so petty, Tim. You shouldn't have done that. And I said, don't insult my wife.
Yeah.
We're also in a day and age where, again, you mentioned extracting justice yourself. Like you'll go to jail if you do that now, right? If you dealt with that in a way that
which is why the laws, so if some guy belted you because you said something derogatory thing to his wife, the judge would just say you had it coming.
Yes,
that's what we used to be.
That's how.
So exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
frankly, that was a better way. The fact that you can go, like, the fact that you can walk up to someone and say the most brutal, harsh, insane thing about their spouse or even their children, and there's just no retribution allowed. It's frankly, it's anti-man actually, because men because we're supposed to be able to defend our families.
We should be allowed to duel.
Well, do you remember I've brought this up a couple times.
Bring out the glove
on the show,
and good sir, you've disgraced me.
I brought this up on the show a couple times when we've talked about the pro-life issue, but this is like what happened with Mark Houck. So I don't know if I've told the story fully, but there was a pro-life activist who was outside of a Planned Parenthood, and he was protesting with his family, and he had a 12-year-old son. And this disgusting old Planned Parenthood worker, this old man, was shouting disgusting sexually charged comments at his 12-year-old son.
Wow.
And getting close to them. So he shoved him away, right? Which, again, we can talk about what the law says, but that's a remarkable amount of restraint to just shove the guy away when they're being this disgusting. So this is a community where there's a Soros-funded DA, and even that Soros-funded DA looked at the situation and said, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Like, this is a stupid, petty case. We're not going to pursue charges. Well, about a year later, Biden's DOJ charges this guy with a federal violation of the FACE Act, and they have a SWAT team raid his house at 6 a.m. when his wife and children are there because he shoved someone who made a sexual comment towards his 12-year-old son.
Yeah. So there's a story right now from a couple weeks ago. Actually, about a month, about a couple weeks ago. Somebody was trying to steal costumes from a Spirit Halloween, and he runs out the door.
The perfect crime. How would they know who did it? Yeah. You're just wearing the costume on the way out.
Well, the security guard, who's armed, grabs him, and they both go to the ground. The security guard is telling him, stop moving, and they're fighting. He draws his weapon, and he says, stop. He puts his gun away. He takes out pepper spray, and he sprays the shoplifter in the face. The shoplifter flips him over, gets on top of him, and starts punching him. Security guard pulls his gun back out, shoots him 3 times in the chest. They have charged the security guard with second-degree murder.
What?
Yep. And I tweeted that I'd be willing to assist his legal defense on this issue because it's tragic that a man died. I'm sad for the shoplifter. I really am. He was just some stupid guy who was stealing Halloween costumes. Death is an extreme circumstance. That being said, he started the fight.
Yeah.
The security guard was doing his duty in stopping a man from committing a crime and a harm. And the man who stole the costumes could have said, I have been caught. I am apprehended. Instead, he said, I am going to fight, knowing the security guard was armed and said, if you keep resisting, I'll shoot you, or something to that effect, but put his gun away. It's only when the criminal got on top of him and started hitting him again that he pulled out his gun and shot him, to which I think it's in Albuquerque, which is very Democrat. The prosecutor said, well, the shoplifter was unarmed. Security guard should have let him go.
He wasn't acting like it, right? He's trying to pick a fight with a guy who just happened to have a superior weapon. And the reality is he says he's unarmed. But if you carry a firearm, one of the reasons you can't get into any kind of physical altercation is because the person you're fighting with can get your gun from you. So right. There's no unarmed in that situation. If you have a gun and someone starts attacking you, they can get your gun and they can kill other people.
If you are committing a crime and someone who is tasked with stopping you tries to, and you escalate, you're at fault.
That's right.
Where we are now in this country is you should have just let him rob the store.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's the
right, yeah.
the
He's
standard.
trying to feed his family with those Halloween costumes.
Well, have we stopped to consider the socioeconomic factors as to why he was
Exactly.
stealing Halloween costumes?
Exactly.
But this is
because
where we're at.
Republicans voted against building that library in his neighborhood when he was a kid. So really, the crime is our fault. Yeah.
It was self-defense, really.
He was defending himself against the system.
Let's get crazy with it. I feel like the AI conversation is bigger, so we'll start with 3i Atlas. Are you familiar with 3i Atlas?
Vaguely.
So there's this strange object that is they're saying it's a comet. We don't know that it is, and the stories are actually quite confusing. It's changed colors. It had an anti-tail, meaning it was moving in the direction its tail was emitting, which seems to make little sense.
Right.
It's the size of Manhattan. It originated. This could all be speculation. I don't know, conjecture. Originated in the same area of space where the WOW signal was recorded in 1977, nearly 50 years ago. And so some people believe that aliens are heading our way.
Oh boy. That's, by the way, this is relevant. That's what the first episode of Twisted Plots is about. We have the 25-minute long pilot finished, and it's about the ET question and the way that that's dealt with. It's a comedic take on the whole thing. So if you want to see it, go to twistedplots.com and support the show.
Are there aliens?
Obviously, this is my own opinion on the matter.
Yeah.
But if you just watch NASA and all the research that they've done and everything that they're discovering, everything that keeps going on, what they're finding out is the universe is sterile. There's every place. Oh, well, we think we found the building blocks. Yeah, but there's still no life. We think we found this. There's still nothing there. So my own personal opinion is that there actually aren't aliens. And I think that's it's also based on specific philosophical presuppositions, which I disagree with. But all that being said, so the other side of it is that a lot of the there is a book called The Alien Delusion by Gates, I believe is his last name. And in there, he takes all the famous cases and all the famous instances of, abduction and all that stuff and is able to show that there's still no ironclad evidence in relationship to it.
It seems
it is at the level of opinion.
Well, I'm curious what your opinion is on this. It seems as if since 2020 specifically, a lot of these news stories have been floated. For whatever reason, there seems to be some interest in making us feel as if there are ETs and that they're close by. And it's not done in a way where they're bringing some guy on the news who's going, I was probed and this is what happened. They're doing it in a way that seems somewhat intellectually
Like
respectable. Exactly, where there's an alternate explanation. I'm curious, why do you think there's such a vested interest to get people to believe in this phenomenon or to believe that we're not alone?
Yeah, I was trying to avoid going there, but I'll just throw it out there because this will probably really, I don't know where you guys stand on all this. I think it has to do with the fact that it proves evolution.
Yeah.
That's the real reason. If evolution happened here, it can happen elsewhere in the universe, and therefore, if we have life coming from some other place, it's proof that evolution is actually true.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, so subscribe and come hang out.